Hey everyone, and welcome back to the St. Saviour's Virtual Youth Group. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you never miss any of our new videos. I'm really excited to talk to you about today's topic. I have a very special guest, and together we're going to discuss the positive and negative impacts of social media. There is no doubt that social media is a controversial topic. It has so many positive benefits along with so many negative impacts on our lives as well. It is my hope that by the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of those positive and negatives, and hopefully a fresh look at how we can use social media to better our lives and in a way that enhances our daily activities. For me, social media is a tool. It is such a huge part of my day, and I don't know what I would do without it. I wouldn't be able to communicate with friends and family, I wouldn't be able to do most of my job, and I definitely wouldn't be able to share these virtual youth group videos with you every week. Social media is a powerful tool that when used in the correct way actually can be a very positive thing in our life. That doesn't mean that I don't overuse it or often get lost scrolling through my Facebook newsfeed or watching cooking videos for hours on end on YouTube. We all have those moments, and it's just important to recognize when it is taking over our life in a sense. I'm very excited to talk today with our special guest, my friend Tristan Mitchell, and to get his perspective on social media and the impacts that it can have on our lives, and especially the lives of young people today. Hey Tristan, thanks again for joining us.
Hi Tyler.
Always good to have you back here talking about whatever topic it is. I feel like you and I can talk it out.
Well, if it's any topic, it seems we always have some opinion or something to share. So
I don't know if that says something about us, but yeah. Very opinionated people, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would like to say as well, up to date with what's going on and thoughtful too.
Yep, educated, sure.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, why is social media such a popular thing?
Well, I mean, I think the two of us can agree that it's super convenient for communication purposes. It's a great way to keep in contact with people when you have, lots of friends, family members maybe that live far away from you, or, you don't have a lot of time in your life to always spend with everybody. And it's nice to, share updates of things going on in your life. And it's also entertaining. I mean, Facebook and Instagram are all gearing towards, different audiences by, showing dance videos or, different memes that cater to people's sense of humor. So it's a really big circle thing that is popular for people. And I don't blame them.
Yeah, I think you said it with the communication and just how connected people feel. I think that we grew up, at least I remember growing up, like obviously in elementary school and most of middle school with no social media platforms like we have right now. And just the shift of how much more connected we are now and how easy it is to reconnect with people that we've known, from a long time ago, or people that we don't live near, just even something like this platform here.
Yeah,
just the technology and the connectiveness that we have now. I think that is why it's become such a popular tool for people.
I agree. Like I think about the story shared about my great grandfather and how during the Second World War, he used to send letters back to family and friends and such. And to think, to wait weeks to hear back from somebody and see how they're doing. When now I know individuals who, if they don't get a text message in 2 minutes back from somebody that they message, they're upset by it, they're frustrated. And yeah, there you go. And it speeds up our life because of that convenience.
Yeah, and I, you know what, I got to read that cool story about your great grandfather on Facebook because you were able to share that, and just like that information comes through to all of your followers through the power of social media. So what are some of the negative, we'll start negative, what are some of the negative effects of social media on maybe young people specifically?
This is a big one that I talk to a lot, especially with my sister, is the fact that studies and research is showing that social media is killing people's attention spans and is actually affecting the overall averages of young people's grades in school. When you look at something for 0.25 seconds, and then you scroll past it and you look at something else and read that, you're only focusing on a topic for a certain amount of time. Whereas when you read a book, for example, you're focusing on the same topic in detail. You're really examining things, and you have to pay more attention to it. And so what we're seeing is people get bored a lot quicker with things. Advertisements now, when we were kids on TV used to be, sometimes a minute long. And now all of them online, YouTube and stuff, are as fast as they can go. And I think I'm really concerned about people's ability to focus and sit down on a single topic without getting distracted right away.
Yeah, no, the attention span thing, in business and in my job, with social media and marketing and things, we look at exactly how quickly are you going to lose people
Mhm.
in when they're watching a video or when they're looking at a post online. People, even things like blogs and things are harder for young people to open and read and actually engage in if there's no images, if there's no video content, and if it takes them longer than a minute to look at. That whole concept is definitely a negative because it's having an
Mhm.
overall effect, like you said, on education and on so many other aspects of people's lives.
Well, and another negative aspect to highlight too is through the algorithms that many social media companies use, what they do is everything that they give you, they target to your interests. So when you start liking certain things, say I like a lot of political posts, for example, now my feed is going to constantly be giving me the same political posts that gauge my attention because they want you to use the app as much as you can. It's just like I remember ranting before about streaks on Snapchat, this made up thing to get people to use something for more and more time. And what it's doing is it's actually creating these little reality bubbles of people where some people are seeing only this topic on social media, some people are only seeing these things, and we think we're all connected and sharing the same things. But in actuality, what we're seeing in the stories and the politics and the art is all very different, and it almost is making us um, understand our world in a manner that isn't the reality, because what's here isn't what actually is going on out here.
Right. And people then have the freedom, or they feel that they have the freedom to then say whatever they feel online because they've created, like you said, this little bubble for themselves, this comfort bubble on their
Yeah,
own social media platforms where they're only going to get responses and feeds coming up about things that agree with what they believe and what they're saying. And it does kind of narrow your perspective in a way.
exactly.
So there's so many negative things.
Mhm.
Another one that I think about too is just that instant gratification, right? Of all the, like, when you're on social media, a like or a comment or things like that, the chemical reaction that you literally have in your body, and the negative of that, of just how people get used to that. You're getting used to people liking your photos. I know people that are constantly refreshing to see, how many new likes, how many new comments, what is happening on my feed. And you get lost in it a little bit. Have you seen that?
Absolutely. From a medical perspective, what I've learned through reading some of the chapters of my textbook is things like notifications, the colors they use, the sounds that they use are actually geared to trigger a chemical reaction of different neurotransmitters like dopamine
Mhm.
that cause a surge in arousal and excitement to look at that phone. I catch myself all the time. If my phone goes off, I want to check it. I want to know who's texting me. I want to know what's going on. I want to
Yep.
know it right here, right now. And it's playing with our brain's chemistry. Just like anything else can become addictive, social media can be extremely addicting too. And it can very much interfere with people's personal relationships, their schools, and their lives. So, there are many negatives, but there are also positives too.
Yes, which is a perfect segue because we're going to talk about some of those positive things. What would you say are the main positive effects that social media has on our lives?
Well, number one, it allows people to stay, like I said, connected and up to date, and not only with their friends and their family, but things that are going on. I know I right now am organizing as the manager for a municipal campaign in Alberta, their social media platform. And it gives you a way to engage with voters and constituents and let people know about who you are and what you want to do and the message you want to share. So it's a really great way to organize things and to keep people in the loop with what's going on. And I think that's really important in our society now. We rely on technology to operate, and we just have to learn how to use it as a tool rather than allow it to take over and control our lives.
Yeah, and I think in this last year, more than ever, we've realized how powerful and how useful it can be, right? With the way that I've seen companies and businesses and programs within organizations make that shift to virtual learning, to virtual programming, to, they're talking about here working internationally with virtual mission trips and things like that. Just like the amazing innovative ideas that are coming out of this pandemic, which on one hand was a very, very negative, difficult thing that happened,
Mhm.
is sparking some really cool and new ideas about how we can use social media to our benefit and how we can use it to improve our programs or in the meantime just continue our programs with with everything going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. Even in Hong Kong, for example, when I was there during those protests,
Hmm.
what they did was they created special filters for Google Maps in which indicated safe places to be and not safe places to be. And this was a really important thing for a lot of people living there, right? You have millions of people here and there's chaos going on. And it was a tool and a strategy that was used to better our lives. And I think that we need to be thoughtful and continue to think about how can we use this to better ourselves, because in reality a lot of people allow things to take over in the negative light. They allow it to kill their attention span, to take up time, to hurt their relationships, rather than use it as something that can be very beneficial.
Yeah, and I think part of being aware of that is just being more mindful. And so my next question is about how can we be more mindful about our phone and social media usage, because I know that it's sometimes shocking when I look back and see my, on the iPhones they now tell you, how much time you've spent on your phone in a day or in a week or whatever, and it's sometimes startling, and I'm like, okay, whoa, I need to be a little bit more present. I need to make sure to put the phone down. But what are some ways that you try to minimize your media usage?
Well, I have three techniques to make social media a healthy aspect of my life rather than something that, is taking over. The first thing I always do is I try to limit the number of notifications. In your settings, you can really break down with each individual app what notifications for what things you want, what kind of notifications, whether it be a vibration or a ring. And you can control that. And I think that's really important. So you're not constantly looking at the thing every time something not that important shows up. Number two, some phones utilize app timers where you can set a time limit each day. And it's not like, if you needed to use it, you could go in the app and you could turn it off. But I think it's really good to kind of control that time so you don't go back and look and see, oh my goodness, I've spent 36 hours this week on my phone scrolling like this, where you can go, okay, an hour a day of social media whenever you like to do that. And then when it comes in, it turns it off. It goes, okay, you've had an hour. And you go, wow, that's a adequate amount of time to be spending on it, and move on. And my third one is purge what you follow on social media. Are the things that you're looking at benefiting your life? Are they educating you? Are they making you see things in a better light? Are they, things that are healthy interests for you? I think those are really, really good things to be thoughtful about. I love following people like you, Tyler, on social media because you promote positivity, you promote good deeds, and you share beautiful pictures of incredible people as well as amazing landscapes. And I find that to be something very fulfilling for me to see on my social media. But sometimes some of the comedy that in the past I've had on my social media before, it's like, I'm taking too much time finding entertainment in this, and it's not really something that provides value to me. And so going through your list and saying, do I really care to be following Kanye West and Kim Kardashian? Or should I maybe be following, somebody who's doing something inspirational or beneficial or a charity group? And just, yeah, choosing wisely where you spend your attention.
Yeah, that's really smart. I think too, we have to be aware of how it makes us feel when we're looking at certain people's posts. And if you're following influencers and celebrities who for really for their job and for their lifestyle are putting out content that is unrealistic, who are putting out content that is in many ways unachievable lifestyle goals. And I think if we have this constant feeling inside of ourselves that I'm less than, or I'm never going to be, as good as them, or I'm never going to live a life as fulfilling as those people, that, that eats away at you. And I think eliminating those kinds of content from your feed is also so important.
Well, and that's the truth of it, is so much is a false reality. The way a lot of those Instagram models pose with the different apparel that they try to show us are body positions that make them seem like they have a certain physique, when in reality, that's not how they look in real life. The filters make us see things. I point out travel as an example. I'm an avid traveler. I've been all over the world, and I think it's such a beautiful place. I can tell you the photos we see on Instagram by professional traveling photographers are not what those sceneries look like to the naked eye at all. And so you have to take everything with a grain of salt and know that in the end, this is a screen. This is for show. This is to try and engage people, to gain more followers, to gain more likes. Don't allow something here to kibosh the reality that exists out here. Don't just look at pictures of the outdoors and people biking and having fun. Get outside and go do it and enjoy life too, because we are going to get to a point more and more where we are going to be so reliant on technology. The pandemic, for example, has made us very reliant on things like Zoom and Skype and email to constantly make sure that we don't miss meetings because we're sleeping in our bed all the time, right?
Yeah.
So, it's something that has positives and negatives, just like anything in life. It can be beneficial, it can also be detrimental. And the way to do it is find balance, find the healthiness in moderation, because I'm a strong believer that, whether it's social media or hanging out with friends or spending money, it can be good as long as you do it with the right intentions behind it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Tristan.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler.
Thanks so much to Tristan. You said it perfectly. If we can learn to be aware of our social media consumption and be mindful of what content we are putting in front of us, social media really has the power to enhance and improve our lives. There are so many incredible tools literally at our fingertips. And like Tristan said, it is so important to cleanse our feed of negative content, set limits for ourselves so it doesn't become a dependent, and to use it for good. Use social media to communicate, educate, and to network. It is so easy to get caught up in the system that social media has created, making us compare our lives to our followers and our friends. That is not healthy, and it has a serious negative effect on our mental health. It is so important to be aware of when you start to have those thoughts that you aren't good enough or that your life isn't exciting enough. It is just an illusion, and nobody is exactly as they appear on their Instagram page. Once we can remember that and begin to pick through the cons and the negative aspects of social media, you will find yourself using it less and hopefully only using it for the positive impacts that it can have on our lives every single day. That's all for now. Thanks again for joining us, and don't forget to click that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you never miss a new video. And in the spirit of social media, make sure to check out St. Saviour's Anglican Church on Facebook and Instagram, and visit our YouTube channel for all of our previous youth group videos. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.